Welcome to Ask the Animators. Tim Ingersoll,
Brian Curl.
and we're here to answer your questions and give you our opinions, whether they're good or not.
It's a good start.
Good start. This is our second podcast. We hope you're enjoying what we're doing. We talked about last week that we've got some gifts to give out. We've got a new gift that we'll be throwing into the mix, and we'll have these 2D animation disc drink coasters. So that'll be one of the gifts we give out once a month. Again, if you want to enter for that, just give us an email at asktheanimators@gmail.com. Address will be flashing on and off throughout the podcast at the bottom of the screen, and you can just type in entry, do one a month, and we will draw it first of the month, and we will send a gift out, whether it be the coasters, the clock, or the animation desk pencil holder. And then Tim's got some animation cells that he'll be signing. Those will be thrown in with the gifts also, and we can kind of go from there. We'll probably try to come up with some other things. We're trying to find out what we can do as far as giveaways for more things geared towards 3D animation, since these are all 2D animations. So, but do you have anything new pressing? It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah, the day of love, everybody, and love your fellow animator and love your job as an animator.
We're a little behind because this is pre-recorded, but happy Valentine's.
That's true. Should we bring up animation, y'all?
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys don't know, in Nashville, this will be the second year they've been doing this. The Bancroft brothers, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, super nice guys. I met them at Disney many years ago. They will be hosting and throwing this event. It's every April now, I believe. 11th through the 13th, I think.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
So we're going to be there.
We're going to be handing out freebies and talking and pressing the flesh, as it were. Yeah, there's a lot of panels. There's a lot of great people there. A lot of my friends from back in the Disney DreamWorks days, and they'll be selling things, and it'll be workshops with all kinds of fun panels. So do try to attend.
Several well-known people.
Andreas Deja, one of my really good friends, super famous Disney legend. Actually, he won an award, Legend Award.
Yeah, and I think Aaron Blaze is going to be in there.
Aaron Blaze.
Yeah.
Check his film out. That's a good one too.
Yeah, Snowbear.
Yeah.
Snowbear. It's a great.
Mushka.
Mushka with Andres.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we look forward to seeing you guys. If you guys come, find us. We'll be hanging out.
Yeah.
Find us. We might have some goodies for you, and we'd love to talk to you and see you. Maybe we'll do some filming while we're there, and we'll add it to our next podcast.
That's a good idea. I like that. He's thinking.
We'll make you superstars.
We are star makers.
So we're going to start off the first part of our podcast with some questions. Again, you can send questions to the same email address, be at the bottom of the screen down here, asktheanimators@gmail.com. Send your questions in, and we will pick some of them each week to read and try to give you our best take on the answers for them. So Ruth had sent in.
Yeah.
She said, "Do I need a degree to work in animation?"
No. The short answer is no. I've had many times people would ask that, and the studios will never ask for that piece of paper, a degree. Does it help later in life? I would say if you want to become an instructor, I'm literally about 10 minutes from one of the best animation schools in America. Ringling. Part of the reason I'm down here, I planned on teaching there. But the thing is, I didn't get my degree. So therefore it impedes the progress I could do being a teacher. However, it still hasn't stopped me. I've taught all around the world. I think I brought that up last week.
Teach animation mentor.
Mentor for 8 years. So, and I teach globally as well. I go to universities. The point is, it's your demo reel. There's a couple things, and we'll get into that with more questions.
Yeah.
But mainly, the short answer is no. And but you kind of, as far as education goes, not degrees, but education. Of course, I'm plugging Animation Mentor.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good ones, a lot of schools online.
Yeah, a lot of good.
And brick and mortar like Ringling. Yeah. So yes, it's good to have that knowledge, but not necessarily paying for a 4-year degree that's going to cost you $200,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, great
yeah.
question.
And we are on location at Tim's casa in beautiful Sarasota, Florida.
Sunny, beautiful palm trees.
Last time we shot the podcast, we were at my house in the Villages in Lady Lake, Florida. And now we're down here by the ocean. We're going to hit the beach this afternoon.
Yeah.
He took me out and made me play pickleball yesterday for my first time. And
You rocked it.
I rocked it until I got home and laid down in bed and had leg cramps. But other than that, it was good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
If you haven't played pickleball and you're an active person, get into it. It's a blast.
Yeah, you won't regret it.
Okay, question 2. Joe says, how do I become an animator?
Oh, that's good. Well, you could answer this too.
Yeah.
I would say, again, it goes down to like just getting that knowledge. Now you can learn from YouTube.
Yeah.
If you can do it yourself. Yeah. I think it's invaluable to not get critiques. So that's the value of a lot of these online schools, is you get the feedback and you adjust from there. Like you make your mistakes, you fail. We're talking about this, failing fast and getting it over with so you can make the right choices. So yeah, there's companies out there that will, and animators that would just do that for you, and you got to find them. I mean, it's not a full-blown school.
Right. There's people on the internet that are animators at all of the big studios that have their own websites and their own classes that they give. And I'm sure they do a good job. I haven't used any of those because, of course, I went to Animation Mentor.
Right.
But it's the same thing. It's just more one-on-one with them, and sometimes it may be a little more expensive. It may be cheaper.
It depends, yeah. So there are options out there, but yeah. Good question. Who was that? Joe?
That was Joe. Joe, good question.
Good question.
And now Frank says, what software do I need to learn?
Ooh, I'll give you my advice, and then you can tell me yours, what you've dealt with, because you might have tried more than me, maybe.
Yeah.
Maya is the kingpin, and even the bigger studios, if they don't use Maya, they use a hybrid of Maya. It's kind of like, if you learn Maya, it's like learning how to walk. You can run from there, but you need to establish the ground rules, I would say.
Right.
Because again, even if they, like Sony, I think they have their own version kind of. They trick it out a little bit. So DreamWorks, we had Primo, and Menvy, I think it's in the Pixar. So, but they all are Maya-like. And then, I know people use Blender. I got students that use all these things. And one more thing about software, I really like, for 2D, a program called Rough Animator.
Yeah.
And it's super intuitive. And you can learn it and really in a short time if you're into 2D. The thing about that is it's $7. So if you can't afford $7, check out now. So
depends too on what you're getting into, because if you're wanting to go to work at a gaming studio, most of the gaming studios are really leaning more towards Unreal Engine.
That's right.
And they're putting it into their pipeline. It's a difficult thing. There's actually, from what I've seen, there's more job opportunity right now in the gaming industry than there is in the feature film industry. So to get that experience and get your foot in the door, and to be able to go to the feature film studios later on and say, hey, I do have my 5 years of experience. I've been working in the gaming industry. Steamroller, that's out of Mount Dora, Florida. They're not too far from us, and they're mainly a gaming studio, and so they've leaned heavily into Unreal, but they're actually working on a feature film now too. And from what I understand and I've watched, is that they're integrating Unreal into their feature that they're doing.
Yeah.
And my problem is that even though all these softwares are basically the same in some ways, they are very different in other ways. And so it's still a learning curve. You have to learn a different software, because I know how to use Maya. I go into Blender and I know the basics, but things are so different in there that it's harder for me to work because I'm having to learn another software. There are some settings in Blender, from what I'm told, where you can set it up where the hotkeys and stuff are all the same as what Maya is.
Yeah.
Unreal Engine, I'm trying to look into it too, because if I want to go work at a studio like Steamroller to get my feet wet and get into animation that way and get some experience, I'm going to have to know what they're using. And if they're using Unreal, the gaming studios lean very heavily into that. So,
Yeah, it's good to be well-rounded,
is.
but just know the facts that MI is for feature animation anyway. That's the standard.
The standard, yeah. Okay, so Mel wants to know what jobs are available in this.
Ooh, well, there is a multitude of jobs. So, I mean, there's, for instance, at DreamWorks, you could be a storyboard artist, you could be a layout artist, you can be a crowds animator, like doing the backgrounds. You could be a character effects, it's called CFX, and they do like tails and hair and cloth and things that are touched the character, sometimes just environments too, but that would be animated. Flags, you name it, fire.
Right.
It's a little more technical for sure.
Modeling,
character design, which kind of goes hand in hand with modeling. Effects, just stranded effects, not CFX. And lighting is a huge one. I had a couple students that became lighters. Think about lighting in a studio environment. They are the tail end, okay? So when all's said and done, the push at the end, and typically there will be a push because that's the nature of the beast. Movies take a while to get made.
right?
And so they're the one on the back burner, or they're in I would say the hot seat, I would call it more or less, that they got to get it done. So they are in demand. They get paid super well, almost as much as animators and sometimes more. So yeah, there is a director. I mean, there's
Director, storyboarder.
Storyboarding.
You got writers.
Writers. Yeah, there's a lot of jobs.
Everything that you can see in the movie industry is pretty much available, plus some in the animation industry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's lots of opportunities.
all right, and we'll do one more. Sue. No, we'll do two more.
Okay.
Sue wants to know, can I work as an animator without formal drawing skills?
Yes. Now, Brian and I both draw, and I love drawing, and that's why I got into. I mean, there was no 3D back in the day; it was just 2D hand drawn. So you had to be a decent artist. Although there were some animators that work super rough that I wouldn't, but they still can draw. But no, I probably know personally, a third of my friends don't really draw. I never could, to be honest. But they have a keen eye. They know what a strong pose looks like. Strong silhouettes, line of action, how to exaggerate, how to push the pose. So it comes down to more, if you can do that because of the 3D rig, you don't really have to know how to draw. But in my heart, I think it comes valuable. It's not essential, but to do little thumbnails, even if you can do quick little thumbnails, to plan out your work, that can make the difference between a good and a great animator. And again, even my friends that don't draw, they will still do stick figures sometimes, just to get their idea across and get that strong line of action. And so
maybe your timing and your spacing too in your drawings from your reference.
Yeah. So, Sue,
Okay.
good question.
Okay, and then Mary wants to know, what is the animation pipeline?
Oh.
This is your alley because you've actually done a film on this.
I did. So back maybe 11 years ago or more, I went to my boss and I said, it's a shame we don't have something to show people. Like when they enter the studio, whether they're just visiting.
That was at DreamWorks.
At DreamWorks, sorry, yeah. So DreamWorks, and I think I wasn't doing a lot of animating at that moment. I mean, I forgot what film I was on, but I was in between training and animating, like a 50-50. So it was great. It was a great gig because I got to meet everybody. I got to show software off. But I said to Antoinette was her name, and I told her my idea about the pipeline. And first I was going to have Hiccup fly through these little islands. He'd be on the Dragon, and he would enter a new, like, the layout department, and then the character effects department, and then the lighting. And then I realized I don't know if I can pull this off because I don't know actor. I mean, I met him once or twice. That plays Hiccup. However, I'm thinking, hold on, I know somebody that's even funnier. He's Tom McGrath. He does the voice of Skipper. So I talked to my buddy, and he directed a couple movies too, Boss Baby, and super funny guy. Anyways, I said, would he be willing to do this pipeline? And basically, it's the Skipper. Yeah. So he goes, Ingersoll, you still want to make that movie? Yeah. So it became this. It was really just me and him. And
smile away, boys.
Smile away, boys. And then it became. We had a sub studio in India. We had nothing going on at the moment, and they took my little baby, and they helped me. And you know what? Quite frankly, I'm glad, because I would have made a good 15-minute little snippet. Yeah. So I go around and interview these people, mainly all my friends in different departments, and they tell you how the pipeline's made.
Okay.
And after 15 minutes, you get a well-rounded idea of like what jobs are available, how the process works, in what order. And yeah, the literally is like a pipeline, a visual pipeline that the Skipper goes through until he comes out the bottom and the film is in his hand, and he goes, that, friends, is how we make a movie. I forget something like that. I should know this.
It's on YouTube.
It's like 3 million hits.
It's a great thing to watch if you want to know how the pipeline works and be entertained quite a bit in the process. So.
Yeah, one of my proudest achievements in ever. But yeah, I'm lucky though.
Yeah,
I got lucky.
So I hope that answers your question. So. All right, so we're going to talk this segment about industry happenings, news in the industry. We need to come up with a name for this segment at some point. The first thing is the 53rd Annie Awards just happened.
That's huge.
Yeah. You know,
a friend of mine won one time. My friend Jim, that's going to be here.
Right.
He'll be doing a segment with us at some point.
Now, was Moose up for an award this year?
I don't think so. Oh, well, maybe an Annie. It might have been.
It might have been. So I don't know the outcome of that because I don't have the stats or anything. But
yeah,
you know, that's always big news. So you know, if you're in animation and maybe you are working on a personal project, or maybe you're working with a small studio, or maybe you are a small studio, if you haven't got involved in the Annie Awards, that's something you definitely want to be part of. So
yeah, it's very prestigious. And a lot of outsiders don't know about it, you know what I mean? Like, but it's industry people, and if you get an award, like my buddy Jim got one for Iron Giant, it matters. You know, we were talking earlier about getting jobs. You need a degree. Now, this would be something that would help you get hired. You know what I mean? You get an Annie Award. Well, you probably already have a job, but it's still a very much.
Anytime you're recognized in the industry,
sure,
entertainment-wise, where you're awarded for your work. That's going to open a lot of doors for you because, you know, people maybe you're looking for backing for your project or something. People are going to be more open to talk to you if they know that you've already had a success in something, you know. Then that's great.
Okay, number 2 here, Adobe almost killed Animate.
Oh, yes.
I almost read that wrong. The backlash that saved it. So, yeah, Adobe has a program called Animate, right? Yeah. And they almost killed it, but what is it called now? They changed the name of it?
Did they?
No, maybe not.
Well, but it's just going to be the base. They had a lot of backlash, so they kept it, but it's going to be the basic software, and they have no plans on doing any updates on it from here on. So what it is what it is, and there's not going to be any tech support for it.
So that's the problem. Yeah, when things go wrong, you're in the middle of a production or doing your own, you know, film or whatnot. That's a possible danger, but you know, it's pretty good. I mean, I've seen it before. I've never used it.
And it's more 2D.
Yeah, it is.
2D stuff.
Have you used it before?
I've played with it a little bit, but I don't know. To me, it wasn't really 2D. It wasn't really 3D. It was more like kind of a mixture of the two, maybe like 2D only using rigs.
Yeah.
But what I used was their basic version, and you didn't get a whole lot. It was like you could make the character from the chest or from the waist up, and you could make him wave and talk.
So basic, very
basic stuff. I'm sure that the paid version had a lot more in it.
Yeah.
But if you want to do 2D rough animator, like you said, is $7 one-time purchase. There's
one of my students told me about Pencil or Tunes, Open Tunes, or whatever. Okay. Yeah.
It's a free
Right.
program, and it's pretty good too. And then you've got things like
Digicel. I used to work with that a lot.
Digital and TV Paint, which
TV
are
Paint.
paid. You know, those are more professional. A lot of the professionals use that. And then you've got Dreams.
Oh yeah. I tried with that one. That's it. Interesting.
Who was that put out by? I can't remember now. Procreate Dreams. And we both downloaded it and tried to use it. It's, you know, Aaron Blaze does a great video on how to use it. He's such a master at what he does that he did a great little promotion for the company for it. I found it very hard to use. So, but you might find it easy to use.
Maybe they're working it out. I mean, we got the first iteration of it.
Right.
So maybe it's been out for like 2 years now. So
Right.
I think maybe it's getting better. I don't know.
Yeah, and it wasn't very expensive. I think it was
$80.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Was it 80?
maybe not even that.
Yeah, but it was a one-time purchase.
Yeah, and then you own it.
And it's not the subscription thing where you have to pay every month like a lot of them. So,
Yeah.
all right. Number 3 news. Sony Pictures animation leadership shifts. I just heard about this the other day. They're expanding the Spider-Verse, and they're greenlighting more projects like K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
Which I've seen a little bit of those. Animation is pretty amazing. They've done something really unique in there. Somehow or another, and like, you know, you might animate on 2s, but they'll have the background all animated in 3s or 4s, and then the main character will be animated in 2s, and so it gives it a different cinematic look where you've got these different frame rates going on in one frame.
Yeah.
Or in one take. So
it was jarring to me at first, but I'm starting to like it. It's just something new.
It's different.
Yeah.
Coming up with them, just like when they did Spider-Verse and they
Exactly.
made it look like a cartoon, you know, like a comic book.
Yeah.
You know, people come up with new ideas, and sometimes people like them, some people don't.
Yeah.
Sometimes they just kind of grow on you. The more you watch it.
Yeah. It's kind of
do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's an interesting thing, and sounds like their new leadership is wanting to keep promoting the animation. So that's good news for animators. That means there's going to be more jobs, you know. And we touched base on the fact that Zootopia 2 made $1 billion or whatever it was, you know. And so hopefully that's going to help the animation industry ramp back up, and we'll start seeing. We've been in a valley, and now we'll go back up. And Tim has seen valleys and highs over the years, and it's always going to be that way. It's always going to be that way. There's going to be times when animation is really, really high up, and then there's times when it's going to drop out. And when it drops out, everybody panics, and they say, oh, well, you know, what am I going to do? I'm an animator, or I wanted to be an animator, and now I'm not. I myself started animation during COVID, and the animation industry was booming because people could work remotely, and live movies weren't coming in because they couldn't work together. And so when I got into animation school, I was like, wow, look at all these remote jobs, and I can do that. And by the time I finished school, things had settled down, and we started this drop down into a valley. And it's concerning when you're trying to become an animator, and you see that happen. From the time you start, everything's good, and then by the time you end, it's like, okay, jobs are looking a little lower here, but they're coming back up. We've got a lot of good things going on in the animation industry, so I foresee it to be booming again soon.
I do too. I do.
Go ahead.
Number 4, Sony canceled a major animated film, Artists Speak Out. So I guess they had a 2-year project that had inspired by Thai spirituality. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, everybody. I've been through this so many times when a studio will pull a production. Like at DreamWorks, we had a really cool one called Me and My Shadow. It was a hybrid between 3D and 2D. Everybody loved that movie except our boss, Jeffrey Katzenberg, who really makes the final decision. So they pulled a plug on that, and they were going to bring it back at one point. And it's just, it's just unfortunate, but it happens. Is they start doing market research, and they have people come in to look at the film, even if it's storyboarded, and it's not getting a favorable response, they'll pull it. And we had one, Lazar, what was it called? Another favorite of the studios, of the people, the artists and the animators, is the Australian Outback type of thing. And something good came out of this. But anyway, it was yanked after a full year. We had about 30% animated.
Oh, wow.
But one of the cool things is one of my friends he took one of the characters that we built for the show and a couple other things and made his own little film.
Okay.
And we made a short, which DreamWorks typically doesn't do. So yeah, you just got to get used to that. It's unfortunate, but there's reasons that we don't have the money. The big people have the money. So anyway,
so let's jump down to number 6 or 7 on our list, because we're going to address the elephant in the room, AI.
Yep.
Is AI already changing animation production? And will it replace jobs? That's something that we're all concerned about. I feel like AI, if it's used as a tool to increase your productivity, even Maya, I was telling Tim last night that in the new Maya, they have an AI plugin that's in there now that you can draw a path and it will do your walk cycle for you, because they feel like if you're an animator, doing a walk cycle is kind of a waste of time. If you can just drop in the walk cycle where you need it to be, you can get back to your more minute details of your animation, and you can tweak that walk cycle and you can push it for more cartoony type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
These softwares are going to use it, and if you're using it as a tool, just like anything, something else to put in your tool bag, it can be a good thing. You don't want it to be I'm pressing a button and making things do things and think it's going to be great, because I think that there's always going to be a need for human animators, because I don't think computers will ever be able to put the emotion into characters that a person can, because it can't decide, oh, well, I saw this person at the store last night that had this funny look on their face and I want to put that into the animation, but it doesn't have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
So it's going to change things, but I don't know that it's going to be for a negative. I think it can be a positive thing.
I was talking to Brian last night about like the peaks and the valleys, as it were. And in 36 years in this business, or maybe longer, I seen threats of things going overseas. That was a big concern. Everything's going to South Korea just because it was much cheaper. That was hand-drawn days when they could just ship it over, and things were just it's a whole lot cheaper.
Right.
And then there was motion capture. And that freaked everybody out. Oh my God, we're all gonna wear these ping pong suits and we won't have to animate anymore.
Yeah.
And then it was 3D. Oh my God, they're just gonna push a button that says animate.
Yeah. And
now it's AI. So literally there's been 4, maybe 5 threats like that, if you will, call it a threat. But it's always worked out. And the thing here too, really quickly, Disney is now talking about, and I think they've already maybe launched some productions on 2D, which has to be done by hand. I'm sure they can do in-betweens and stuff like that, but the thing is, to Brian's point, it can just help the workflow a little bit. So maybe it's a 2D film, but some of the in-betweens are done by the AI, or redundancy in the background, like crowds and things like that. So it could just keep us being actually more creative, as you're saying, like you don't have to do the minutia,
right?
And we're doing more of the creative tasks. So. Market growth means more animation worldwide. So what's new? The global animation market is projected to nearly double by 2000. So think about that, double by 2035, driven by widespread demand. You get this K-pop Demon Hunters.
Yeah.
All of these shows and sometimes smaller studios, and they just blossom. And then again, we were talking about Zootopia making $1 billion, and then some. Avatar. There's too much work that it wouldn't make it for a booming situation. So, is AI in the room? It is. Deal with it. Okay, deal with it.
Yeah.
But the good news is, this is just projections. They don't know this for a fact.
Yeah.
But it's also pretty damn good. And a lot of these things are based on facts that are trending and things that are happening.
I think that's all the
Yeah.
news for today. And again, we're going to kind of go through. We've got our giveaways. Make sure you drop an email to Ask the Animators at gmail.com.
I should use it.
And yeah, you
There,
should.
what am I doing?
What are you doing? SDAnimators at gmail.com. Put entry in the comment line, and we'll put you in the entry for one of these prizes. Once a month we'll give those out, and we'll have some other prizes along the way. And then also make sure that you send us your questions. Any questions on animation industry in any way, shape, or form, send those to the same email address, asktheanimators@gmail.com. You got Marvin there, I see.
I'm going to say, go ahead and make my day. Make my day.
Make his day.
But thank you.
But yeah, it's and make sure that if you get the chance that you come to the Animation Y'all in Nashville. Look it up online. Tickets are very
Cheap. Usually some of these conventions can cost money.
Oh yeah.
Lots of money.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're getting a deal for sure.
All right. Now we'll give you some more information on Fan TV. That's Tim and I's our passion project. We've got a lot of ideas on things that we want to do with it. Probably more than we will get done, but it's always better to have too many ideas than not enough. Fan TV, if you didn't watch last week, is going to be a streaming TV channel like Netflix, Disney Plus. It's not going to be a podcast. It's not going to be a YouTube channel. It's going to be a streaming channel like the big streaming channels. And it's going to be focused on family-friendly animation, movies, features, shorts, behind-the-scenes videos. We're even going to have a section of classic cartoons that we can put up. The old Betty Boop and maybe some of the old Superman and those kind of things. And we need your help though, because one of the things that we are planning on doing is raising the money to launch the channel. The only way we're going to have the money, get the backers to launch the channel, is to have content in place, because we can't go to backers or do fundraisers without content and say, hey, we're going to start a channel, but we don't have anything to put on it.
Yeah.
So if you're an independent animator, creator, small studio, large studio if you want, and you're interested in having your product, your feature, your production on our channel, our platform is a little different because it's going to be profit sharing. You're going to be our partners, and we're going to have advertisers, and you're going to make money on a percentage basis of your views on your product that's on the channel. So you're not going to just get paid an hourly fee, or you're not going to get paid a licensing fee. You're going to get part of the profits that come in from that channel every 3 months. And it could be that it makes a little money. It could be that it makes a lot of money. We're hoping for a lot of money, because the more money we make, the more money we give to you, to where you can produce more projects. So we've got some things we want to do with it as far as education-wise that other channels aren't doing. So
we're celebrating you. We're celebrating the art form. We're celebrating people that unsung heroes sometimes. I mean, sure, you get your little name splashed on the screen for a millisecond, but we want to give more than that. We're going to have awards. Right. But it sounds kind of trite, but it's built by animators for animators, and that's really what we're doing. We're building it for you.
I was thinking about this the other day, is that Walt was a creator, and he built Disney. He built the Disney product, the
label,
on animation, and the people that ran the company were all creators. And now it's not the creators running the companies; it's the CEOs that aren't animators. They're not creators. They're not riggers or lighters or any of that stuff. They are businessmen. They answer to a board of directors. They look for the stockholders to tell them what they should and shouldn't do. Hopefully, sometimes they don't. They lose a lot of money, and then the stockholders step away from them and their stock plummets even more. Because, and this is the thing, a business like an animation business, in my opinion, is going to strive more if the people who are running the company care about the people who are creating the content and give them credit for it. You know, Walt always gave credit to the 9 old men. He would talk about how talented they were and those kind of things. In the last years that I can remember, I don't think I've ever seen a CEO from a big animation studio go, "Oh man, that Tim Ingersoll, he's great. He's great. Let's put his name at the top of the screen." You know, what about the in-betweeners? What about the people that do the minute stuff that we don't even notice that's there in a production, but they work just as hard as everybody else. You were talking about lighters. You know, they're at the end of the pipeline. And, you know, I know who the animators are because I'm interested in that, so I always research that. But I'm not interested in lighting, so I don't know who the lighters are because they never show their names that I know of. You know, they might be there, but you've got a scroll at the end of a movie that goes 100 miles an hour and there's 120,000 names on it.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we want to work together with the creators to build something new, to have something new. You know, when you talk about being afraid that AI is going to affect you, and it might not. We're hoping it doesn't affect in a negative way. We're hoping it affects in a good way. But if it does look like it's going to affect negatively, the best way for us as creators to push through that area is to do something on our own, start our own thing. Because if it does go south, the only way you're going to survive is if there's something out there that you can do and you can do your craft and make a living and get your name out there. And that's what our platform is about, is helping the creators be recognized for what they're doing and also make money at it, where it's not something that you're putting thousands of hours into and then you throw it up on YouTube and you get a lot of likes, but you're not...
Likes don't pay the bills.
Right, that doesn't pay the bills. and to tell the truth, if you go to a big studio and you say, well, I've got a bunch of animations up on YouTube, I don't know how much the people at the studios, I know that they look at some things like LinkedIn, they'll look at, you know, demo reels and things like that. But I don't know that they go to YouTube and research animators. So, you know, if you want something that's going to give you a strategic foothold, where if you were on our channel and in 3 months we can show in our documentation that you've had 4 million views and you want to go to Netflix or Hulu and you want to try to get on their stations, you've got something to go to them with, saying, hey, it's been successful over here on Fan TV. Because we're not going to lock you into not being able to be on another channel. We'll lock you into the first 3 months and we'll do a contract every quarter. We will retain the rights to be able to show the ones that we've had on there, but we don't want to lock you into not being able to go out and try to make money or get your name known somewhere else too. We just want you to also be loyal to us because we're the ones that are going to try to help you get there. So,
well said, Mr. Curl.
So, but we're passionate about it. We're going to move forward with it. It may not be exactly the way we see it in our minds right now. It may be better, maybe not. But we want to offer, you know, homeschooling through the station for not only our viewers, but for people who are our partners that have content that are studios or creators, can offer that to their children. And maybe at a lesser price than you would get it somewhere else. We're talking to some homeschooling companies to see if we can work something out like that. Maybe even have the videos on part of the channel where you would log into a certain area of the channel and have the homeschool videos there. So and we want the background stuff, you know, how things are made, how the movies are made, and things like that. Also, if you're a teacher, if you teach animation, you know, and you want to put your videos up on the station, we'll find a way to do that too, so we can help promote your business.
Mm-hmm. It's exciting.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah. So we definitely want to work as partners with everybody, and not the other way around, where where we're calling all the shots. We have to call some of the shots because we have to make sure the product and the productions are meeting in our guidelines as far as what we're comfortable putting on our station, and then we'll go from there. But it's going to be a fun ride. We hope you join us on that ride. And if you do have any questions about that, you can drop us an email to info@familyanimatation.net, and our website is www.familyanimatation.net. So just go and check us out. If you've got product, if you've got shorts that you've done, or you've got a feature that you've done, or you're working on a feature, reach out to us. Drop us an email, and we'll get back with you. We'll set up a Zoom call, and we might even feature you on our podcast.
There you go.
There you go.
That'll be a treat.
So anyway, that's our podcast for today. Where we're at, it's Valentine's Day. We're in the past because we're recording this for a future broadcast. But we hope you had a great day. Don't forget to enter. Just drop the emails to asktheanimators@gmail.com and put entry. And once a month, we'll be giving away some gifts. And we hope to see you at the convention. So if you have any questions, need anything, give us a shout.
Happy animating.
Animating.